Hello everyone, I'm Darth Loquitur. Welcome to the channel. Whether you're a newer player or a seasoned veteran, today's video is going to have some good tips to help you keep your account efficient as you build new teams and build up your galactic power. We were talking over on the Discord, myself and some other veteran players, talking about things that we did, mistakes that we made, regrets that we have, how we'd do it over if we were starting again, what we would tell ourselves. And it turned out to be a very interesting conversation. So today's video is going to have a lot of that information in it. For newer players, I'm going to say up front, this is a game. We should be having fun. So even though there's going to be some stuff in this video that might be overwhelming, don't be overwhelmed. It's a good game. It's fun. It can be rewarding. And when you have questions, there's a great community of people to ask and get your questions answered. And this video is meant to help. You know, the game is even more fun if you have success planning out your account and building an efficient and successful account. So coming in at number 10, number 10 tip, manage your galactic power. So why? Why would you manage your galactic power? Some guilds out there, if you're searching for guilds, it says minimum 1.5 million galactic power to join. And you can think to yourself, well, I better build up my galactic power real quick so I can join a good guild. In truth, that's not what these guilds want. They don't want somebody with 1.5 million galactic power in whatever they wanted to build. They want some good focused teams that are going to help with raids, that are going to help with content, territory battles, territory wars, and that's how you're going to want to build your account. Managing your galactic power will help you. It determines what Grand Arena Division you're in, so it'll help you manage your Grand Arena Division until you're ready to move up. It also, in terms of your galactic power, adds to your guild's galactic power for territory wars. And keeping your galactic power down helps focus your efforts on a few teams at a time instead of trying to build a roster of 300 characters. Recommendations that I have for that, when you unlock a character, if it's not part of your plan and you don't plan to build that character right now, just leave it at level 1. So let's say, for example, there's a marquee character and you can unlock it and get it to 3 stars. That's fine. Unlock it, get it to 3 stars, but leave it at level 1. Don't put any gear on it. Don't put mods on. Just leave it alone. If you want to build it someday, then commit to it and build that character. That's fine. But don't do what I did the first time around and level a bunch of characters up to 60 and get them up to gear 8 just because you can, and then have all that galactic power sitting around in your account on characters that won't help you at all. This also prevents wasting gear. And even if you have an overflow of that low-level gear and didn't really need it anyway, that gear can still be used in the shop to make items for relics. So that gear still could have been, given over to the scavenger for more relic stuff. So don't waste your gear. And also, in terms of managing your galactic power, be careful chasing new content. When they come out with something new in the game, it's going to seem great, and that's what people are going to be talking about on these YouTube videos, and it'll be great to go after it. But pick and choose. If you go after a new character, that's fine, but don't go after every new character. Or again, you'll just end up building a bunch of stuff that you don't use. And watch out for theory crafting. Somebody will come up with a great counter team and they'll post it out there, and then everybody wants to build those 4 characters or however many they need to add to their roster. So be careful with that stuff. It may work for some people, but then when you look at the mods that they're using ridiculous mods that you don't have access to, and that counter team's not going to work for you anyway. So just be cautious, know what you're getting yourself into, and build according to a plan. Number 9, manage your reset time. There's free energy 3 times a day. So if you set your reset time to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, your first free energy will show up 12 hours after the reset at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then at 18 hours and 21 hours. And if you're not seeing these free energy objectives come up where you can take advantage of them every day, take a look at your reset time. Figure out what times work best for you and set your reset time such that you can collect that free energy every day. It really adds up over time. It's really a big deal. You don't want to miss it because it's for free. And that also helps you set your squad arena and your fleet payout times. So most people don't do squad arena and fleet arena all day. You just wait until the hour before it's your payout time, climb a little bit to where you want to be, get your payout, and then you can leave it alone until the next day. So managing your reset time is important to getting these free resources and getting your rewards out of the squad and fleet arena. There's shop resets every 6 hours, and there's 4 pieces of gear that show up all the time for credits in that very first tab. Those pieces are an incredible deal. Try to grab them every time the shop is open. And you may think, well, I go to sleep at night, I can't get that 4th one. If you set your reset time correctly, let's say 5 in the morning, and I wake up just before 5, I can come in 10 minutes before 5, grab the stuff from the previous reset, have it reset at 5, and then grab the stuff from the current reset. So it's no problem at all to see that shop 6 times a day and get that cheap gear, which, like I said, every little bit helps, and it builds your account much more quickly. Use your shop currency wisely. This is a regret that a lot of us have, where we've spent a bunch of shop currency, like guild currency, on characters, and we really should have been saving it for important gear or important things later in the game. So use the shops for characters and rare gear. I have a video out there on farming gear, and I think it'll help you understand a lot about what gear you should buy out of the shops. If you don't want to watch my video, or you have other gear hunting videos that you like better, that's fine too. Just understand what gear it is that you should be buying out of the shop, and don't waste that currency. In the guild event store, everybody says hoard those currencies, guild event 1 and guild event 2. That's what you're going to use for unlocking Hermit Yoda, Wampa, finishing out your Malik, or finishing out General Skywalker, and you do not want to waste that currency on stuff that is not those characters. And for the guild event currency 2, the Malevolence and Negotiator ships can only be got out of that shop with that currency. So you do not want to spend any of that for anything but those ships. So be smart about that, and do your research before you just start throwing away all your currency on stuff that you could have gotten from elsewhere in the game. And then really learn to use the shard shop. Very early in the game now, with the changes to the double drop shards and the ease which you can 7-star a character from the shops, learn to start buying those extra shards for characters that you already have on 7 stars, convert it to shard shop currency, and you can get gear out of there very, very nicely. And that'll help you conserve the currency in the other stores that's more important. Coming in at number 7, credits. Don't waste credits. I think a lot of us have wasted credits in the past, built up a bunch of mods and then figured out later that they weren't very good mods. So after level 70, never invest in a mod if it's not a 5-dot mod. Around level 70, you should be unlocking the mod challenges. That's when you need to start farming the mods. So be careful of that. Don't just automatically put every character at 85 if you get interested in it. One of the ways that I manage my credits is I bring the character up as the gear tiers come up. So when they need to go to level 74 to get the next gear upgrade, I put them at level 74. And yeah, it puts them a little bit behind in the power curve, and maybe I could have had them at 85 and had a little more power on those characters. But the amount of extra credits that I have in the bank to work on other characters is worth it. That allows me to work on mods and do other things with gear and balance it out. So eventually you're going to want that character at 85, but it's just a way to help manage your credits so that you don't put a character at 85, lose interest, and then not build them. And then you've got a character with mid-tier gear that's not really helping you much, and also you spent all that on getting them to 85. I recommend, don't buy those shards out of the weekly shipments. It costs $1 million for a few shards. If you're end game and you've got tons of money, hey, do what you like. That's fine. But for newer players, anybody in the mid game, that is not a good deal. You can use those 1 million credits for something else. The mod store is the same way. There's some great mods that pop up in that mod store, but it's almost 4 million credits for one of the gold mods. So, make sure that you have plenty of money in the bank and that you're pretty wealthy before you start buying stuff out of the mod stores. I know it's tempting to get stuff out of there, especially when they got a good speed sub. But just remember, every time you level that up, you've only got a 25% chance of hitting that speed sub. So there's a pretty good chance that even if you buy a mod out of that store, it's not going to turn out to be a great mod. So be careful with that. Don't waste a lot of money in the mod store until you have extra credits to spare. All right, moving on to number 6. Do not underestimate the fleet part of the game. A lot of the people that we were talking amongst each other, and they underestimated fleet early on, and then they have to play catch up on fleet for a long time. And some people just don't like the fleet part of the game. I do. I like fleets. I think the fleet stuff is fun. It is definitely more random than the character part of the game. So there are very frustrating times when you should be able to win and you can't just because the random nature of it. But don't underestimate how important it is to get fleet going. If you're not playing Hyperdrive, you definitely need to pay attention to that fleet material challenge, unlock that at level 78, and get those ZETA materials coming into your account. It's absolutely critical. You have to pay attention to that. And fleet, honestly, the fleet arena is an easier way to get rewards for the reasons that I talked about. Not as many people are into fleet. So while everybody's competing heavily in squad arena, it's much easier to compete in fleet, and the rewards are better in fleet. You can get a higher placement and get better rewards. So there's no reason not to pay attention to fleet, have at least one really good competitive fleet that you can climb with and get those free rewards and free crystals. And there's some excellent Grand Arena strategies that you can use if you've got 2 good fleets and you look, scout your opponent and find out that they don't have very good fleets. There's very specific offense and defense strategies that you can use to win that matchup, just leveraging your good fleets. So it's an important part of the game. Do not underestimate it. In the same token, number 5, I'm going to say the flip side of that. Don't just unlock any ship unless you really plan to use that ship and build it. The reason is ship galactic power is derived from character galactic power. So if you have Anakin at Relic 7 because you have him on a Padme team and you need him to be big and, Anakin's a great character, and then you have a ship unlocked at 2 stars and you put it up to level 30 and you're going to build it someday when you get your negotiator, but it's fine. It's just going to sit in the corner for now. If you go look at that ship, it's going to be like 59,000 galactic power. That's the equivalent of 2 relic level characters in your account for a ship that you're not using. Even just unlocking a ship, I forgot how much this was, and when I started my Darth Loquitur account, the Darth Loquitur account's my alt account, and I just unlocked the Slave 1 ship for Boba Fett. And at level 1 with no level ups, with no anything, it was 17,000 galactic power. And it just reminded me of how much galactic power these ships have. Even at low level, low stars, no skill ups, no gear ups. It's really a lot. So when it says activate a ship, just don't activate it. Just click off of it and leave it alone. And if you want to use that ship someday, if you're going to build that fleet, it's all or nothing. Either, go in, build that ship, 7 stars, build the character. It'll be 70,000 galactic power, but it'll be a ship on one of your main fleets. That's fine. That's how you play the game. Just don't have a bunch of ships in the middle or it will destroy your galactic power with a whole bunch of extra stuff that's not helping you. All right. Next one, make a plan for your account and teams. If you don't have a good plan, then you lack focus and you're looking for your next project and you're much more likely to start something and drop it. And for people who are asking for account reviews, I see that a lot now. Hey, I'm pretty clear on what I'm doing at this point. I'm getting my General Skywalker. But then what next? And that's exactly the question, right? What next? So if you're working on General Skywalker, that focuses you. You know which characters you have to build. They're good characters. You're going to build the droids. You're going to build the clone team. And they're good characters to have. Once you get that and you start working on your next project, you got to figure it out. If you still don't have your Revans, maybe you're going to go for your Revans. Maybe it's time to go for a Galactic Legend. But figure out the next big thing that you're going to do and stick with it. See it through to the end. Don't keep starting things and quitting in the middle. If you build up a whole bunch of characters and leave them at Gear 9, again, you're creating a whole bunch of stuff that's not going to help you in Grand Arena. It's not going to help your guild win a guild war. So just be aware of that. Now, there are some things like Ewoks, Phoenix, the characters that are required to unlock the Revens. They're necessary. You know, it's going to add galactic power that's not terribly useful, but you can't get those characters unless you build the other teams. So when that's part of your plan, then do that. You know, build those Ewoks and build them up and get your C-3PO. And then if you want to leave the Ewoks alone, it's going to be some galactic power that you have to deal with, but that's the price of getting your C-3PO. And if you understand that and it's part of your plan, it's no big deal. Just go ahead and do it. And just realize this is a long-term game. You know, if you say, hey, I want to go for a galactic legend, the payout is going to come perhaps in 8 months, 10 months, however long it's going to take you, and whatever your spending level is in the game is going to determine how fast that comes. But this is really a long-term game. It's not something where you can say, hey, I want a galactic legend and reasonably expect to do that in a month. So set reasonable goals, work on them, and that'll really help you a lot in building an efficient account. Zeta materials are solid gold. They're the top of the list of materials in this game. They're very hard to get. There's not a whole lot of ways to get them other than, you know, earning them out of a few specific places. The materials challenge, you can buy them out of the Fleet Arena store, and you can get them as prizes for various things in the game. But there's a very limited supply of Zeta materials, and they don't come in all that fast. So what you don't want to have a bunch of regrets about Zetas that you've wasted. So you really do need to be aware of what Zetas you're working toward, and when you pick a project, know what team you're building, how many Zetas it's going to take for that team, and what order you should put those Zetas on. You know, do that research. Watch the YouTube videos, ask around, get the information, and know what you're getting into. I'm building a Troopers team, and I already know up front that I'm going to have to invest 2 Zetas, potentially 3, and that's fine. You know, I'm committed to the team. It doesn't scare me. I'm going ahead with it because I knew what I was getting into going in. If you build a Padme team and you look at it and you say, well, I need 2 on Padme, 1 on Anakin, 1 on Ahsoka, 1 on Kenobi, potentially 1 on my 5th character if it's Barriss Offee or something like that. So you're looking at 6 Zetas to build that team. Well, it's a great team. It's worth those 6 Zetas. But just understand going in, that's what you're signing up for. And don't go putting those Zeta materials on some other character that you've got at Gear 8 because somebody came out with a guide that said that was one of the best Zetas in the game, so you just go ahead and build it. Don't put Zetas unless they're a part of your game plan, part of the teams that you're building, and you understand exactly what it's bringing to the table. And again, knowledge is power, so go out there, do some research, and know what you're in for ahead of time. Now we're into the last 2, and these are the biggest 2. And you know, the folks over on Discord have spoken out very strongly about this as being one of the top things, one of the top tips that people have to know. Find a good guild. And by good, I mean find a guild that matches your needs and your objectives. Let's say you're a casual player. You don't log in 4 times a day. Some days you don't even check in. Life gets in the way. You've got a job. You've got a family. You play when you want to. Join a casual guild. So a guild without a whole bunch of requirements, and you know they take things casual and they don't care if they win the territory wars or not. That's your style, and that's your style of guild. That's what you need to get into. If you're competitive and you want the most gear the fastest, find a guild that makes requirements for 600 tickets a day and that holds their members accountable for participation. You know, call it a try-hard guild. Call it whatever you want. If you're going to try hard, find a try-hard guild. If you want Wat Tambor shards, you have to be able to contribute to that. You have to be able to do the Wat Tambor objective and get yourself into a guild that's getting Wat Tambor shards. So match your guild with your needs. Leave those starter guilds almost immediately. There are so many friendly people in this game. It's just really incredible. You don't have to stay in those guilds. Find any guild that's taking low-level players and just get in there and start talking to people and tell them, hey, I'm a new guy. I don't know what's going on. Help me out. And people will help you. It is crazy what a good community we have. So don't stay in those starter guilds. Get out of those as soon as possible and get into a guild. Once you get into a guild, get your 600 tickets a day. It's off of regular energy and Cantina energy. If you're getting your free energy and you do one refresh on regular energy for 50 crystals once a day, you should get 600 or close to 600 tickets. And just be respectful of your guild and make sure that you do that contribution. I recommend that you always get in there and do damage in raids, even if you're level 53 and only do 4 damage. Get in there. It assigns a random place to people who do no damage. So if you get in there and you have 4 damage, you'll be the first out of all the people who didn't do damage, and you'll get a better prize. And the last thing is, in your objectives tab, farthest to the right, there's a guild objective every day. Pay attention to what's going on in the guild objective and do a little bit of that, and you'll be able to get extra currency for the guild store. So those are good things. And one of the things for example, let's say you join a guild and you're in that guild for 8 months. And during those 8 months, it's a casual guild, and you build up your account and you're doing a nice job. You're getting good placement in Grand Arena. You're looking for a guild that's, trying a little harder, but you really like the people in this guild. You've made good friends and they're fun, and you have a sense of camaraderie. And that's something that every player is going to have to balance: the needs of your character, your roster, your account, your objectives against the community. Just understand that if you leave that guild and you join another guild, you're going to find the same sense of community. There's a lot of good guilds out there. It's a lot of fun. So don't stay in a guild so long that you're the top player in the guild and then, regret that you didn't go to a better guild. All right. And number 1, learn to love your mods. A lot of people underestimate mods, and it takes a long time before they start to understand how much of a difference mods really make. Just understand, every single Gear 12 Darth Vader is exactly the same until you put mods on. Mods are what makes your characters different than everybody else's characters. It's what makes your characters better, or it's what makes your opponent's characters better. And if you're like me, you want to have better characters than your opponents, so you need better mods than your opponents. By level 70, you should have some of the content unlocked for mod challenges. You should be able to at least farm 5 health mods. So as soon as you can unlock anything where you farm 5 mods out of those mod challenges, get going and farm your 5 mods. Once that starts, never invest in any mod that's not a 5 mod. And you're going to spend months, 3 or 4 months at least, of farming these mods just to get a stable inventory. And then, start splitting your resources, a little bit of slicing materials each week, and slice up some of your better mods. And then, a year in, you'll be spending, maybe more money on slice, or more of your energy on slicing materials than you are on new mods. But you really have to spend a lot of time and effort building up an inventory of good mods. I also have a video on finding good mods and a sorting video to help you understand how to apply that strategy. So, and I'm not the only one. Get out there on YouTube, find all kinds of mod videos. But number 1, really, I'm going to say it again, you got to learn to love mods. You've got to find some way to make this fun for you. Make it a mini game within the game, because mods define your teams. And I can't say it enough. How well you do in a lot of the parts of this game depend on the mods that you have. Now, don't be mad or disappointed. Don't quit the game and say, oh man, I've been playing for 4 months and I haven't paid attention to mods. Any moment that you decide to commit to mods is the right moment. It's never too late. And, if you've got all these characters built and really haven't paid attention to mods, and then you start realizing that your mods are bad, fix it. Just fix it. It's, honestly, it's the easiest thing in the game to fix. Just start spending 3 refreshes a day on mods, get yourself a good strategy, and start building up that inventory. And that's applicable for the newest player in the game, and it's applicable for people who've been playing 5 years. They still need better mods. So last slide, there was this comment that really hit me in Discord today. I loved it, and I'm just going to put it in here directly as it was in our chat. You don't have to get first place to have fun. So what was said, don't be scared to be mediocre. Pick your strengths, especially if you're a free-to-play player. If you focus on the Grand Arena style roster, you're going to struggle in Arena, and you may struggle to do well in raids, but you're going to do well in fleets, and you're going to contribute a lot in the territory wars. And I thought this was just perfect, right? If you come in and you think that you have to be number one in squad arena, and that's what you go for, it can be very frustrating because people are going to be spending a lot of money, and those guys are hard to get out of that first 10 spots in the squad arena, no matter how hard you try, until you get a galactic legend yourself. So in that regard, I think this is great advice. Don't be scared to be mediocre. It's fine if your squad arena placement is number 450. You're still getting rewards out of there. If your fleet placement is top 50, it's fine. You're still getting your rewards out of there. Focus on these game modes like Grand Arena and territory wars and things like that, where you can be much more successful and not get frustrated and quit the game. So there you have it, folks. That's the combined wisdom of myself as well as some folks out of the Discord. So like this video if these kind of videos are helping you. Subscribe to my channel so you can see more like this one in the future. And join that Discord community. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of smart people over there that are helping each other out and giving advice on account building and all kinds of different things. So join us over on the Discord. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.